One of the hardest truths to embrace is that struggle is not an interruption to life. It is an inevitable part of it. Every person, no matter how strong, intelligent, or prepared, will face moments when life feels unbearably heavy. The sooner we understand that challenges are not a punishment or a sign of personal failure, the sooner we free ourselves from the burden of self-blame. Struggle is a teacher, and every difficult season carries lessons that we cannot learn in comfort. When you stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What can I learn from this?" you shift your perspective from victimhood to empowerment. You stop wasting energy on resisting the reality of the situation and instead redirect that energy toward growth and action. Acceptance doesn't mean you approve of what's happening. It simply means you acknowledge it, allowing you to think clearly and respond effectively. Think of life as a mountain trail. Some stretches are smooth and easy, while others are steep and rocky. If you expect the path to be perfectly flat, you will be disappointed and unprepared when you encounter obstacles. But if you understand from the start that the journey will include both beauty and difficulty, you'll walk with greater patience and resilience. Accepting struggle as part of the journey doesn't make the pain vanish, but it helps you carry it with purpose rather than resentment. Emotional resilience is not about pretending to be unbothered when life gets hard. It's about giving yourself permission to fully experience your emotions without labeling them as weaknesses. Too many of us have been taught that strength means it's keeping a stiff upper lip, hiding our tears, or forcing a smile even when our hearts are breaking. But bottling up emotions doesn't make them disappear. It only pushes them deeper, where they quietly erode our mental and emotional well-being. Allowing yourself to feel means creating space for the truth of your experience. If you're sad, let yourself grieve. If you're angry, acknowledge the injustice that's causing it. If you're afraid, name your fear instead of burying it. When we deny our emotions, we deny an essential part of our humanity. And when we carry shame for feeling what we feel, we add an unnecessary layer of suffering on top of the pain we're already experiencing. Research in psychology shows that naming and acknowledging emotions actually reduces their intensity. Brene Brown often reminds us that vulnerability is not the enemy, it's the birthplace of courage. By being honest with ourselves about our emotional state, we open the door to authentic healing. When you stop judging your emotions and instead approach them with curiosity, you transform them from silent burdens into guides that help you understand what you truly need in the moment. In moments of hardship, the instinct for many of us is to armor up, to hide our wounds, cover our struggles, and present a polished version of ourselves to the world. We fear that if people see our raw, unfiltered emotions, they might judge us, reject us, or think less of us. But the truth is, vulnerability is not a flaw to be fixed. It is a strength to be embraced. It is the bridge that connects us to others in the most authentic way possible. When you lean into vulnerability, you're not saying, "I have no boundaries." You're saying, "I'm willing to be real about what I'm going through." It's not about oversharing every detail of your pain, but about letting trusted people into your experience so you don't have to carry it alone. Brene Brown's research consistently shows that vulnerability builds trust, deepens relationships, and creates space for empathy to flourish. By choosing vulnerability, you give others permission to be real too. You dismantle the illusion that strength means silence, and instead you demonstrate that true courage is being willing to show up as you are, messy, uncertain, and human. When we share our struggles with the right people, we often find that instead of pushing us away, they draw closer. Vulnerability is not weakness. It is the act of standing in your truth without hiding behind the mask of perfection. And in doing so, you strengthen the very connections that can help you weather life's most difficult storms. When life feels overwhelming, it's often because our minds are tangled up in things we cannot change. We replay past events we can't undo, We obsess over the unpredictable future, and we try to manage the behavior or opinions of others. This constant mental tug of war drains our energy and leaves us feeling powerless. Emotional resilience begins to grow the moment we shift our attention away from what's outside our influence and place it firmly on what's within our control. Focusing on what you can control means narrowing your scope to the choices you can make today, your actions, your thoughts, your attitude, your habits, and the way you care for yourself. You might not be able to control whether someone treats you unfairly, but you can control how you respond. You can choose whether you will internalize their words or let them pass without taking root. You can decide whether to keep moving forward or stay stuck in resentment. This shift isn't about ignoring problems. It's about directing your limited energy toward actions that actually make a difference. The human mind has a finite amount of attention each day, and if you spend it chasing things you can't change, you leave yourself depleted for the things you can change, just as a gardener focuses on watering the plants instead of worrying about the weather. You strengthen your life by tending to what's yours to nurture. One of the greatest misconceptions about resilience is the belief that strong people stand alone. In reality, even the most courageous individuals draw strength from the people around them. A true support system is not built in the middle of a crisis. It's nurtured during the calm seasons of life, so that when storms come, you already have a network of trust and care to lean on. Building a support system means intentionally surrounding yourself with people who uplift you, challenge you to grow, and hold space for your struggles without judgment. These are the friends, family members, mentors, or communities that remind you of your worth when you start to forget it yourself. They are the ones who can offer perspective when your vision is clouded by fear, and who can carry a part of your burden when your own strength feels stretched thin. This kind of support doesn't happen by accident. It requires reciprocity. If you want people to be there for you, be there for them. Show up for their victories, listen to their pain, and build trust through consistent kindness. Over time, this mutual investment forms a strong foundation that can hold you steady when everything else feels unstable. And remember, seeking help is not an admission of weakness. It's an act of wisdom. Asking for support says, I recognize my humanity, and I'm willing to lean on others so I can stand again. The way you interpret your struggles has the power to either keep you trapped or set you free. Two people can go through similar hardships, yet emerge with entirely different outlooks. One feeling defeated and broken, the other feeling wiser and more determined. The difference lies not in what happened, but in the story they tell themselves about what happened. Reframing your story means choosing to see yourself not as a passive victim of life's cruelty, but as an active participant in your own growth. It's the mental shift from this happened to ruin me to this happened to shape me. This doesn't mean denying the pain or pretending the hardship was enjoyable. It means acknowledging the hurt while also searching for meaning within it. Every setback carries within it an opportunity for learning, resilience, and transformation if you are willing to look for it. When you reframe your story, you reclaim your power. You are no longer defined solely by what happened. You are defined by how you respond, adapt, and rise from it. Even the most painful chapters of your life can become a source of strength when you integrate them into a bigger narrative of courage, endurance, and growth. By shifting your perspective, you remind yourself that the story isn't over and that you still hold the pen. Resilience is not about avoiding the storms. It's about learning to dance in the rain. It's built in the choices you make every day, to accept life's challenges, to feel deeply without shame, to lean into vulnerability, to focus on what you can control, to nurture relationships, to rewrite your story, and to find gratitude even in the darkest moments. Tough times will test you, but they will also reveal you are far stronger than you think, and every step you take through hardship is shaping you into a wiser, braver, and more compassionate version of yourself. So stand tall, even when the wind howls. Keep your heart open, even when it's tempting to close it. And remember, your story is still being written, and the next chapter can be one of incredible strength and hope.